Negroes in them offices and everywhere. They got boss man's, they ain't sitting in that office saying, we sure want to get some more Negroes in this office. Most of them are saying, we don't want another nigga in this office with us. And the farther out you go, the more, I'm the only Negro out here. And they like that. I'm this special Negro. I'm boss. Hey, man, they like it out there. They love it. They love it. I'll tell you a story. No, it's about Posey. I don't know if I'd probably told us 200 or 300. When I was in the penitentiary, I think I was in G Company, F Company was here, and I was a big kid. I was, one of the, I guess I was 18. And it was out at the last level of reform school. It's called Preston School of Industry. And there, the kids are 18, 19, maybe the youngest of young companies is 16 or 17. But these are young men, really, by that time. And the next step is Dual Vocational Institution, Soledad, and all them medium security prisons after that. So we would always march wherever we went. So I got into something that I didn't deserve to be in, and the captain told me, he said, you're a nice looking guy, you're just the nicest guy in town, and you could be like Posey. Now Posey was a drag boy, he had juice. He was looked like a pretty strong nigga out of LA, and black as tar, and he got a chance to walk around. Can you imagine those days, a transistor radio? That's when the Japanese brought them out. So small radio, in the old days, radios, they had tubes. I guess y'all never saw the radios with vacuum tubes. Radio, they had tubes, big tubes. I mean, they big tubes. You couldn't carry that boy around. Plus, it wasn't no juice, batteries, things. Anyway, so the man told me, you could be like Posey, and this was natural. I just said to myself, I don't want to be like Posey. Everybody else would love to be that. He's a drag boy. He got juice with the white man. And he walks out of ranks. All the rest of us got to march, front dress, ready front, you know what I mean? We had to march everywhere. He walked out of ranks. That means I'm special nigga. Yeah, I don't have to do like y'all. But he had juice and drag, but he kept all other niggas in line. He didn't know what he was doing. He just thought he was something special about him. The white man told him, why, you just a handsome nigga. He's the blackest nigga in the whole show. He's blacker than me and running around, you're handsome. Well, maybe handsome to white folks, but you ain't handsome to other niggas, I know that. Not no tar baby. That's what they used to call us, tar baby, jungle bunny, all them kind of So anyway, this was a gift from God. This was not something that I thought up myself of oppression and I just said, I don't want to be like Posey. And I never accepted that. Pretty soon I was in the penitentiary and loving it, accepted Islam or that stuff. And then when I was getting ready to go home, they gave me another year extension to make sure I got it drove into me. You know what I mean? If I'd have went home in 63, I'd have went out there doing like all the other young men. But I stayed to 65. All extra time just because of a little race ride is fine. And I went home at a good time when that stuff had disciplined me. So I didn't come out drinking wine because I didn't drink. In fact, I became a vegetarian because the white man would put extra, like if you had spaghetti and meatballs, which calls for ground beef, right? The white man, instead of 100 pounds of ground beef, he'd put in the whole, he'd put 5 pounds of pork in there and let you know it. You know, so I stopped eating meat and anything with meat in it, just because that's what he was doing. You're going to try to make me, the same thing with Arabic. They're saying, hey, you can't be a good Muslim if you don't know Arabic. So I backed away from it. I resisted learning Arabic. Because they're telling me, unless I learn this, I ain't going to be able to be a good Muslim. So I said, we'll see about all of that. In other words, it's a certain strain that it's a resistance strain. And if you get it, you're going to resist certain things. And that's not something that you've earned, that's a gift. But as you develop it, in order to get anywhere where you're trying to go, you're going to need more and more or more of that, and you get better and better and better until pretty soon you're having fun resisting. Everybody else, they whining, they crying. And when we look at the world, I'm going to try to wrap it up. When we look at the world, I was just listening about in Jordan Valley, they just bulldozed I don't know how many houses today. And the guy was saying, I was out here and I just had a 2-week-old baby and we're living in a donated tent. We spent one day out in the rain with just a brand new baby. And that's the way Israelis treat our people. Hey man, can you imagine? We be whining about it a little, well, they just say fix the sink in 6 months. Suppose you build a whole house. They come by and bulldoze it. And they do it over and over and over again. Them people got resilience, man. They got tenacity. I'm telling you that people look at us and they think, man, I wouldn't want to be in that show over there. Well, they done moved us right where we want to live. We live in the exact neighborhood we want to live in. This is the best, you can get it, the best spot, you can make more influence, and you can do more good, and we got more access to people's mind that if they get switched, they can affect the world. And that's why we're here. That's why we don't have no second thoughts about nothing we're dealing with. And just like it says, have fun. And that's what we're doing. We're having fun because I was looking at, in not Bosnia, but Chechnya. I was right up on the Russia. They was in Grozny. It's like 20 below zero or something like that. I don't know. But they wasn't even living in houses, and they was. It reminded me of in Denmark when I used to go down. I lived in a place called Roskilde. Roskilde was where the kings of Denmark used to live. And it's about 20 minutes from Copenhagen. Now it's probably a part of the city. And I used to walk down the street going to the metro. And I saw all the little babies, if they was 1 year old to about 2 years old, they was outside of the house in those little carriages. The white folks put the little kids out there, and they had the little bells, and the kids just laying there, all bundled up. And that's where they put them. I said, man, these people is cruel. But I just looked, I said, all the white folks put all their little white babies out there. And then I saw construction workers. You know what clogs are? They got the back out. I saw all them white construction workers and everything with clogs on in the winter. I said, look at these. Then I looked at it, I said, oh, they've acclimatized them little babies. They've been out here all the time, and me and you standing here freezing. In Grozny, I would look at when they was at Grozny, Chechnya and all, I was looking at the temperature. I said, man, that's 20 degrees below zero. And 20 degrees above, which frees us to death, right? Zero, the nigga is paralyzed at that temperature, right? And they out there not with shirts on, but they out there just fighting and cruising. I said, if the white man could get that temperature over here, he would paralyze us, the movement, just with the temperature, right? He wouldn't have to do nothing, just swoop in, just had a big freezing machine to blow down that cold air, and the niggas will say, goodbye. Hey, man, I can't take, right? It's just, it's what you acclimatize for. The immigrant is not acclimatized for here. He's acclimatized for back home. He didn't like it, so he came over here. When he came over here, it was so much better than back home, he don't want to bother these people. He love it. And you imagine, he loves it. Me and you don't like it. Because everything, the last, the lowest, and the lost, is we get that. So we want to change America, right? We don't like it. Well, some do, excuse me. They got enough Negroes that really like it. I mean, they're serious about it because they will ignore. Some of the people will totally ignore all the stuff that's going on in the world because the white man told them to. The white man said, this is better here for you, and you work with me. That means they'll go against their family, their friends, and everybody because the white man said it's all right, and it's the best. And he'll roll his statistics in. Well, if you do it our way, we'll cull the herd, and we'll only kill 30 or 40 million people. This is all. But for the greater good, why, we'll have, it's 300 million people in America, 300, something like that. 330, that's right, 330. And we're just going to get rid of the 30 million. And there, after all, now you got to remember, when we screen down to 30 million, that's going to be niggers. You can see that, right? Mexicans, Chicanos, old white folks, right? It's part of nature. If we lived in nature, right, the old animals would get eaten up just like the young animals get eaten up by if they can't run fast enough, right? This is nature. This is nature. We call the herd. We got to call the herd. We got to kill that. And it's not kill. It's divesting them of life. Something that's just going to divest them of the life force function. Well, they got some name for it. And this ain't going to be bad because you're not actually killing them. It's only just depriving them of a life force function, which, right? It sounds like, hey, that makes sense. And it's real. And it makes it better for us. And you can't change them anyway. Remember, if this 300,000 people already dead and they won't stop mass, suppose you tell them you got to cut back on electricity, you can't go to the store and get all them 100 groceries and you're going to throw 30 of them away, right? You can't stop them from doing that. So you have to grow more to feed them, and you can't make them run off all that weight. But if we could get them to where it's stores close to them, we turn all them big tall buildings into neighborhoods so they can come down on the elevator and they can get a nice big wheeled cart and push it 2 or 3 blocks, right? Not now. You got to drive up to the Shoppers, all them places are way up there. You can't, technically, you can walk there, but that's a ways off. Suppose we just want them to walk 2, 3 blocks a day, and they can push and talk to everybody, and right? And because you can't make them wear a mask. So how the hell are you going to make them walk that fat off? Right? makes sense. And you look at the people, you say, that's right. They won't stop back. The president's junior so-and-so got coronavirus. The lawyer got coronavirus. The spokesperson got coronavirus. Everybody got coronavirus. He still said, they don't wear no mask. Right? And the people are saying, we're not going to wear no mask. And they got millions of people running around talking about, we don't wear no mask. And they got a no mask movement going on. Yeah, they have a no mask movement. We ain't going to do that. You can't make us do nothing. So if you try to get them, tell them it's good for them, they ain't going to listen. It's good for you to walk just a quarter mile, half a mile. No, just start easy. Just 5 blocks. We're going to have everything there for you. He ain't going to do it. He'll get in the car and drive down there. Like we do now, right? You got to go 5 blocks. You want to walk 5 blocks? Heck no. You drive. But when we was kids, we walked miles a day. We walked everywhere. Everything we did was anti-fat, right? When you're a kid, when I was growing up, they didn't have no automatic carts or nothing. You get you a plank like this, right? You get you another plank like this. You put a seat on it. You put wheels on it, right? And you put a rope on the front with a nail right here, and you pull it this way and go that way, and you got this nice wheels on there from skates or whatever you run across or stole them, and you got a nigga behind you. He push you. Right, he push you. Right, and you can't get fat like that. All the kids are doing that stuff, breaking all the windows, playing baseball. Now they go outside, they produce a lifestyle where you could sit at this thing all day and push buttons. You got to get fat because the people say you got to have 3 meals a day and how about 2, 3 snacks, right? Here at our school, they had the snacks was like a lunch. I said, you going to do that to the kids? They're going to get that habit. They got lucky and they some kind of way. But I said, hey, cookies and milk, y'all having real meals here. You know what I mean? A snack. That's not a snack, that's a meal. Okay, anyway, but it makes sense, right? They're only not going to listen. But if we do it this way, why, Mr. Bezos, you're going to get super rich. Because we're not going to tell them we're going to do it. We're just going to make them do it. That's all. In the department store, who needs a department store? That was 500 years ago. They was copying the bazaars over in Turkey and Iran. They had the department, you might as well call it the big grand bazaar. It was like a department. Everybody had a stall. You go over here, you want furniture, you go over here, you want, right? So the department store, they didn't invent nothing. Okay, that was good for way back then, 100 years ago, even 50 years ago, but now it's not needed, right? The mall, the whole idea is a big bazaar, right? Okay, we don't need that anymore. Now we need this, that, and other. All those old type of places, Sears, whatever they have, Capwell, not Capwells. What's all them big old places? Macy's, they're all big, what do they call them? Brick and mortar. Who needs them? Okay, times do change, but they're telling the people, you stick with us and we'll make them change, and you're going to get billions for it. And all them other stores, all the money you make, you can buy up all the stores and make them skating rings and whatever else you want to do, right? Concentration of wealth. If they run all them people crazy, remember the 3rd or 4th level down of wealth, Macy's and all them places, they're down on the level or low level. But now these big producers, why, you can get all the stuff just ordered from them. And the people are lazy. Right? Not because they wanted to, because you didn't make them that way. Oh, you didn't train them. Just order this right here. I see even certain families, the mail is something coming every day in the mail.